if you're not ready to acknowledge how religious systems and books and texts have been used to oppress and erode people's basic human rights, and this probably is not the book for you, I would say maybe read this before someone tries to ban it. I think Terror at the Gates might be one of my favourite romantasies of the year. This is my first Scarlett St. Clair book, but it won't be my last. Lilith kind of gets into a bit of hot water when she comes across a dagger. And when I say comes across, I mean persuades a man to give it to her using her magic. I think a lot of people are going to go feral for Zahariev. So Zahariev ends up protecting her and helping her and joins forces with her to discover what's up with this ancient dagger of power. Lately, I've been gravitating towards books steeped in female rage. Maybe it's because real life keeps handing us fresh reasons to be furious. But I digress. As you may be able to tell, Terror at the Gates isn't your average romantasy. It's a gritty Lilith reimagining, dipped in neo-noir, laced with mafia politics, religious trauma, Romeo and Juliet-esque frenemies to lovers, grimdark urban romantasy set in a fantasy patriarchal world. But beneath the aesthetic, Scarlett St. Clair gives us a mirror that reflects double standards, institutional gaslighting and hypocrisy, and the habit of branding women as too difficult when they dare to defy. The world of Terror at the Gates is fictional, but if it starts feeling a little bit too real life / Gilead for comfort, that's probably the point. I must admit, I knew very little about Lilith before going into this, besides the vague, Adam's first wife who got demonized for being difficult and the mythology surrounding that. A quick rabbit hole later, I learned that there are multiple origin stories of Lilith, but one of the most enduring is that she is Adam's first wife, and she refused to be beneath him literally and symbolically, and for that she got exiled from the Garden of Eden and rewritten as a monster. Misogyny, ancient edition. Or maybe she walked out of the Garden of Eden and never looked back. St. Clair leans hard into this. Her Lilith isn't here to be subservient. She's here to desire, to be difficult, and to resist. It's not an empowerment arc with rainbows and butterflies. It's dark and raw and occasionally nihilistic. In this fantastical patriarchal world, women inherit magic through bloodlines, but men gatekeep it and get to wield it. Marriage is strategic and transactional. You may notice some characters have internalized misogyny. This is a book that is heavy on fantasy theology and religious trauma. But before you get your knickers in a knot, this book isn't anti-faith or religion. I interpreted it as how religion gets twisted and how figures of authority weaponize doctrine to climb to power and enforce control, twisting it to suit their own means. It's a reminder that religion has no place in government. And if that truth makes you uncomfortable, or if you're not ready to acknowledge how religious systems and books and texts have been used to oppress and erode people's basic human rights, and this probably is not the book for you. Now, if you're here for the romantasy and not my rant, good news, this is probably one of my favourite romantasies of the year so far. The other one is Broken Souls and Bones by L.J. Andrews. Anyway, the slow burn frenemies to lovers tension between Lilith and Zahariev is toe curling. And when the spice finally kicks in, you may need a bucket of ice. There's also a sweet found family dynamic, a sapphic bestie, and an adorable animal companion who adds just enough softness and cuteness. That said, this isn't a light read. There are some pretty graphic content warnings to be mindful of. I have included trigger warnings at the end of this video. If I had one quibble, it's probably that I wanted just a little bit more from the magic system. If you like extremely dark, grimdark romantasy, where the heroine refuses to be palatable and the patriarchy gets called out, this one's for you. I would say maybe read this before someone tries to ban it. If you're looking to understand how spicy Terror at the Gates is, it's pretty spicy, but it takes a while to get there. I'm going to give it maybe 4 chilies out of 5. You can find the spicy chapters at chapter 14, chapter 19, and chapter 21. You should be able to skirt around them if you're looking to avoid that, or head straight there. I am absolutely desperate for the sequel to Terror at the Gates. Happy reading and shaking your fist at the patriarchy. Thank you so much to NetGalley and Sourcebooks UK for the advanced copy in exchange for an honest review. As I mentioned earlier, there are some pretty graphic content warnings. Off-page child sexual assault, specifically by an authority figure in the church, not on page. Child abuse and emotional abuse, specifically by an authority figure of the church and a parent. Religious trauma, pregnancy and birth-related body horror. Toxic family dynamics, death of a loved one, misogyny, sexual harassment, violence, murder, swearing, and explicit sexual content. Thanks so much for watching my YouTube video. Happy reading and shaking your fist at the patriarchy. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment.